Okay, today I'm going to be doing a video response to Shadow Dragon Fights. Pretty much to all of his videos, and I'm going to do it as a video response to all of my critics. Now, to begin, I want to share with you my martial arts experience so that you understand that I am very experienced in the martial arts. I've been training for over 10 years in various martial arts, including a style of Kenjutsu called Kotodama Tsurugi, which is a part of the Kawanabe Karate-do system, which is a type of karate out of Atsugi, Japan. On top of that, I also have 3 years of Songan Taekwondo, which I hold a first dan in. So, all in all, I have about 14 years of experience, all in all. Now, the thing that really worries me with you and this Shadow Dragon martial art is that I think that your overconfidence in your techniques is ultimately going to lead you into a fight where you are going to get injured, and I don't think anybody wants to see that happen. And I think a lot of the reason why your quote-unquote critics are consistently telling you you don't know what you're doing is because nothing that I have seen in any of your videos gives me any indication that you have any martial arts experience or any fighting experience. Alright, and the second point that I would like to make to you is coming from somebody whose primary martial art is a sword style. I am deeply disturbed by the way you handle your sword. You have absolutely, from what I've seen, in my opinion, you have absolutely no respect for the sword as a tool to kill somebody. Whether or not that is your actual aim in using a sword, ultimately you have to think of a sword as a tool to kill. Only then will you have the respect for the blade to be able to train with the sword. Some of the techniques or things you have done with the sword can both damage the weapon itself, or you're likely to cut off a finger or slash something, and I don't think you want that trip to the emergency room. I've seen it happen way too often that an amateur has picked up a sword thinking that they know how to use it, and they've ended up cutting off a finger. I've seen it over and over and over. That's why for the first 6 years of Kenjutsu training, you never use a live blade. You always train with a Boken or an Iaito for the more intermediate levels. But, you know, using a real sword, especially in the video when you were talking about fighting your brother with a real sword, that is extremely irresponsible, and I don't think you understand the kind of implications. It only takes a small cut on various parts of the body to inflict severe bleeding, which will ultimately lead to a trip to the emergency room, and worst case scenario, you end up cutting limbs or fingers or toes off. And I don't think you want that. And I guess my final piece of advice to you would be, do what every other martial artist has done. Find a real school, find a legitimate teacher, and start from the beginning. Now, if you can't afford it, or you're not anywhere near a school, you can do what I did. When I turned 16, I got a job, and I started taking the bus. I paid for it all by myself, and I got to the school and back again every day by myself. I did it, you can do it, there's no excuse. Get real training before you end up hurting yourself. That's all I can say. And if you are really truly teaching other people, which personally I find hard to believe, but if you really are teaching other people, I suggest you stop, because the things you're teaching them will end up getting them hurt too. To be honest, I think it's about time that you get out of your own little world and come back to reality, because I think what you're doing is self-destructive. And if you really want to study martial arts and you really want to teach martial arts, well, that's a possibility. But you can't teach techniques that have no basis in reality. So if you really do train other people and you want to train other people, start from the beginning, work your way up, and then get certified, and then you can teach. But at 17, I don't think you're ready to teach other people. And in fact, me being 19, I don't believe that I'm ready to teach somebody else martial arts, because I just don't have the teaching experience necessary to teach something as intricate as and dangerous as the martial arts. That's just my 2 cents.